What's up, everybody? It's me, Adam. We've officially stepped out of 2013 and into a new year, which makes this probably the most appropriate time to talk about my favorite albums of 2013. So that's exactly what we're going to do in today's episode of Medium Quality. So we're going to start with my number 10, Migrant by The Deer Hunter. The Deer Hunter is one of my very favorite bands, so I was really excited that they were going to release a new album this year. And Migrant is a very, very solid album. It's not as ambitious as the Color Spectrum or as technical as the Acts 1, 2, and 3 that came before that, but the production is lush. The songs are a little more accessible than anything that Casey and the boys have done before, which makes it a very worthy addition to their discography. If you've never heard The Deer Hunter before, Migrant is probably the best place to jump on and then work your way backwards. Number 9, Days Are Gone by HAIM. Now this is a brand new band on the indie rock scene. They're making a big splash. Everybody seems to be really excited about them, and for good reason. This is a band consisting of 3 sisters, but don't just assume that that's a gimmick and that that's all that this band is, because Days Are Gone is a really, really solid album. The songs are very catchy and a lot of energy. Probably a great band to see live, so if you get a chance to do that, make sure you do and pick up Days Are Gone, and you definitely won't regret that. Number 8, Modern Vampires of the City by Vampire Weekend. The new album is very much a consistent step forward from what they've been doing. Not a lot of surprises here necessarily, but it's a really good album. There are a lot of catchy tracks and also some stuff that's just really weird, which is what you would expect from Vampire Weekend. If you like what Vampire Weekend has done before, this is the next album to listen to. It's really good, so go check that one out. Number 7, Mayor Hawthorne's Where Does This Door Go? I've never been a huge Mayor Hawthorne fan, but this new album has a really thick, slow jam feel to it that's just very groovy. The songs are super catchy, but they're just funky, funky. When I started listening to this album, it hooked me really fast and really hard. I came to love almost every song on this album. Mayor Hawthorne is an excellent vocalist, but the instrumentation that's here is really solid as well. If you like the sort of return to slow jam and funk that seems to be on the rise right now, this is a very, very good album to check out. Number 6, Play With Fire by The Reign of Kindo. The Reign of Kindo is another one of my very favorite jazz-influenced indie bands, and this album is fantastic. Technically very sound, a lot of nice chops here, but also excellent vocal performances. I recently saw these guys live and they are really good. The songs are a lot of fun to listen to, super catchy, but also technically very, very proficient. This is a band that a young person can like just as much as that young person's mom. So make sure you check this out and share it with someone who's a little bit older than you. We are halfway done, so number 5 for me is Intersections by Into It Over It. This is an album that took me a little while to get into, mainly because the emotional vocabulary of this album is a lot different than Proper, which I got into earlier this year and really, really liked. But after spending a little bit of time with it, it really grew on me. It's an album that is emotionally more mature than the last one. So there's less angst, which maybe makes the fact that it is a part of that emo genre, it's a little bit, maybe a little bit of an outlier. But once I get into it, it's been an album I've really, really enjoyed. If you like that old school emo, but just a little bit more grown up, check this album out. It's really good. Number 4, Paracosm by Washed Out. I think that's how you say that album name. This new album is very much a chillwave album, but if you remove a lot of the electronics and synthesized stuff from their earlier albums and put in more of an organic feel, that's what this album is. It's sort of an evolution of chillwave into something that's a little more, just a little different. And for that very reason, I really, really like this album. It can get a little samey from time to time, perhaps, because it's less of a wide variety of synthesized tones and more real instruments, but it's good. I mean, it's really good. Put this album on, it's fantastic to chill to, as you would expect from a chillwave album. Okay, my number 3 album is Reflector by Arcade Fire. Again, another one of my very favorite indie bands coming out with a brand new album that is different than anything that they've done before. Now that's not hard to accept from a band like Arcade Fire, that with every album seems to evolve their sound. This is an album that is very different than The Suburbs or Neon Bible or Funeral, but it's really good. This album in a lot of places is a little more accessible than their previous work, which makes it a good place for new Arcade Fire fans to jump on and get this wide range of sound. This is a fantastic indie album with a lot of different influences. And beyond that, it's sort of hard to describe. This is an album that you have to spend some time with. Number 2, another chillwave album, Anything in Return by Toro et Moi. This album didn't review very well for a lot of people, but when I heard it in January, I was already like, this could be one of the best albums of 2013. And it is a more traditional sound to chillwave, a little more hip-hoppy, a little more electronic than Washed Out's new album, which makes it a fantastic album to dance to if you want to have some sort of slow jam dance party, which I'm not saying that I ever do, okay? But if you wanted to do that, this album would be perfect for it. Super catchy, super chill, but super danceable, super, super, super album. And that leaves just one more album, my number 1 most favorite best album of 2013, The 2020 Experience by Justin Timberlake. If you would have asked me 5 years ago what I think of Justin Timberlake, I would have scoffed and said I don't really care about him, because he was one of the boy band performers from one of those in-sync bands. But this album, for some reason I gave it a chance and was absolutely blown away. This is a much more mature sound from someone who came from a boy band. It's got a lot of the slow jam funk kind of things going on that really hooked me into Mayor Hawthorne, but the song lengths are longer. They're different. Clearly Justin Timberlake is trying to experiment with pop music. He's trying to stretch it into something a little more mature, something that's got some lasting appeal, and he absolutely succeeded. Almost every single song on these 2 albums are really catchy, really well executed, a lot of lush production, and he's really surprised me. Really fantastic, fantastic album. I don't know how you could have gotten through 2013 without having heard one of the singles, but if you haven't, you need to turn this video off. Go do that now, because this is the best album of 2013. That's the 2020 Experience by Justin Timberlake. Check it out. That does it. So 2013 was a fantastic year for music. Who knows what's going to happen in 2014? Feel free to let me know what I missed out on this year in the comments section below. What was your top 10? What are you looking forward to for 2014? And I'll talk to you again next time. And until then, peace out.